Hey everyone, I am beyond excited for today's guest. He is widely recognized as one of the greatest tight ends in NFL history. To name a few of his accomplishments, he is a Hall of Famer, two-time Super Bowl champion, three-time Pro Bowler, and two-time first team All-Pro. But his impact did not stop on the field. He became the general manager for the Baltimore Ravens in 2002, where he built a winning culture and left a lasting legacy. So please give a warm welcome to the legendary Ozzie Newsome. So my first question is gonna be, have you been? What's been going on?
I've been great. It's the beginning of the season.
Mm.
Uh, we had a setback on Sunday night. We lost a very fun game, but it wasn't fun at the end when we end up losing the game. But it's a long season. I like the football team that we have, and we all have aspirations of getting to the playoffs and hopefully getting to the Super Bowl.
Yes, yes. So with you, I want to talk a little bit about your background. How'd you get into football?
Well, I started playing baseball actually when I was young, and then basketball. And then I evolved into just playing football when I got to the eighth grade on the junior high school team at Culver County High School. And so I played in the eighth grade, had some success, and then we combined the two schools. I had went to the all-white school, but then they combined the two schools when I was in the ninth grade. And so most of the kids from my neighborhood, I was not going to school with them. And we had a very good team. We went up winning, going to the playoffs my 10th grade year. And in basketball, we won a state championship. In baseball, we went to the playoffs. And in my junior year, we won a state championship in football. And I was getting recruited by most of the schools in the Southeast. It came down to Alabama and Auburn. My mom wanted me to go to Vanderbilt because she didn't think I was a very good football player and she wanted me to get my education, but I chose to go to Alabama. I enjoyed 4 great years there. I joined a fraternity while I was there. It was amazing being at the university during the early 70s into the late 70s. I enjoyed it. And then I was fortunate enough to get drafted by the Cleveland Browns, played there for 13 years, and then retired with the organization. And in 1996, I became the vice president of player personnel. And I think around 2000, I became the first African American general manager.
Yeah, so that's awesome. I'm so curious about your football experience at Alabama. I graduated last year.
Oh,
So
great.
yeah, I did have a degree in communications.
Oh, okay.
So what was it like playing under like one of the greatest, like Bear Bryant?
It was unbelievable. But I think I've said this many times that it was the lessons that he was teaching us while we were there were lessons that we would utilize once we became parents, we became husbands, we ended up in the other parts of our lives. He wasn't just teaching us about football; he was teaching us about life, and there's been some lifelong lessons. I really enjoyed those 4 years, and I even enjoyed it more when I would go back to Tuscaloosa and meet with him in his office, and we could talk about other things. But I was fortunate enough to be able to have played for Coach Bear Bryant.
Man, that's so awesome. And after your time at Alabama, you were drafted by the Cleveland Browns. So every NFL player has a welcome to the NFL moment. What was yours?
Well, yeah, actually, we were playing the San Francisco 49ers. It was opening day, and the very first time that I touched the ball, it was on an end around, and I scored a touchdown. And we were taught at Alabama not to ever spike the ball. But I was so excited when I got to the end zone that I spiked the ball. And then on that Monday, I had to call Coach Brian to apologize and told him I would never do it again. And I never did it again.
Yeah. You're just in the moment. You're like, yeah, I scored my first touchdown in the NFL. This is like awesome. Like you have that adrenaline. It's like an out of body experience. You're like, oh wait, did I do that actually?
That's exactly how I go, uh-oh.
Yeah. You're like, wait a minute, I did not mean to do that. I got in the moment. But yeah, as a tight end, you're one of the like you're known as the greatest tight end. Like you've changed that position. Like a tight end was mainly known to just to block, but you changed that way and you're like, no, actually a tight end can receive as well. Did you think the way that you played impacted the way tight ends play the position now?
Well, definitely. When I got drafted to the Cleveland Browns, I went after my first mini camp. The head coach called me in, and because I was playing wide receiver, and he wanted to move me to tight end. He said, "We're gonna move you to tight end because we're gonna throw you the football." And I said, "Okay, I'm good with that." And so, of course, at the end of my career, I had all the numbers, but now, the game has changed. That my numbers are pedestrians compared to what, you know, Kittle and the what's the guy at Kansas City? I can't think of his name right.
Kelsey?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Healthy, and but then again, it's some other guys that came, since those guys that have now people realize that the tight end position is a weapon, and hopefully, I had something to do with that.
You really did. Like I've been watching your tapes. I was like, man, like you can play. This dude is like he's awesome. Like you're just a baller on the field, honestly. But yeah, playing in the NFL, who was the most toughest defender you ever had to face during your NFL career?
Well, we played the Pittsburgh Steelers, and on that defense, I think it's six Hall of Famers that I played. And but I guess probably the best player I played against was Lawrence Taylor. I mean, he was unbelievable. But the good thing about that, then he wanted to rush the pass, and I wanted to go out for routes. So we never had many hand-to-hand combat doing plays. But Lawrence Taylor was probably the best player that I played against.
Man, Lawrence Taylor. So that was like, what year did you play him?
That would have been in the late 70s, early 80s. Yes,
Okay, okay.
to the league in 83, maybe. Uh,
Mm.
82, 83, I think he did. Yeah.
So, football has been evolving. It's changing every year. So, what's your take with the direction that the NFL is going when they're making all these new changes to the game?
Well, I think the biggest thing, and I served on the competition committee for over 15 years, and it was all about, making the game safer. We're making the game safer. We're instituting rules, techniques and things so that the game can be played from a very competitive standpoint, but from a very safe standpoint. I mean, some of the ways that guys used to tackle and do the things that when I was playing has been outlawed. It can't be doing. So we want to get our game to be as safe as it can be, but we still wanted to have it to be competitive and fun for people to watch.
Yeah. So, what's an important lesson that you took from football that you're like using off the field?
Well, I think the biggest thing about football is you're part of a team.
Hmm.
You're counting on 10 other guys to do their job, and those 10 guys are counting on you to do your job. So I think, the team aspect of it, but also the other aspect is that, hey, yeah, I got these brothers out there, and you know what? I want to be as good as I could be because I know these guys are trying to be as good as they could be. So those are great motivators. And I think football is a good teacher for people to just understand how great being a part of a team really is.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I learned a lot just from watching it. I mean, I realized how important football isn't just about, it's about everyone. It's about everyone contributing. And I think that's like a really lovely thing to watch, how people work together to, get to the end goal, which is eventually make it to the Super Bowl. So yeah, so I love watching it. I love watching how the teams are able to work together. And I think it's just a beautiful thing to see. So yeah, so moving from player to now general manager, you made NFL history by becoming the first African American manager for the Baltimore Ravens. What did that moment feel like?
Well, actually, it didn't dawn on me
Mm.
till someone called me and told me. He said, you just made history." And I go, "Made history? I mean, I think we were like 6-6 or something like that. I mean, we wasn't very good at the time." He said, "No, you just became the first African American uh, general manager." And but to me, it was unexpected, but expected because I had been the vice president of player personnel and Mr. Modell having the willingness to do it. But what that did, you know what? I wanted to make sure I'm not the last. You know, if you're going to be the first, make sure you're not the last. And I tried to help other minorities along the way, as you know, other people that have worked for me to become as good as they can and become general managers. And I think we probably have maybe 6 guys or more that have become GMs that work for me here in Baltimore.
Mm, yeah, so like being a general manager, how did you use your player influence to change your perspective in the front office?
Well, again, it goes back to about team, you know, and I'm all about, hey, are you doing everything that you can do to be a good teammate? And, you know, and I carry that down to the locker room, you know, hey, you can be as good a player as you want to, but you also got to be a good teammate. So I think that's what, guys looked up to me. And the other thing is they knew that I had done it.
Mm.
And so they were talking to someone that climbed the same mountains that they are climbing. And so therefore they sometimes have a more willingness to listen.
Yeah, and that's awesome. And so you are just an inspiration for everyone. Like you definitely made your footprint. And I wanted my last question for you is how did you get the name The Wizard of Oz?
Well, again, that came to me from the University of Alabama. And I used to make I guess, some acrobatic catches. And they say, you catch like a wizard. And I go, hey, so the Wizard of Oz, So that's how that nickname came, and it has lasted, since my days at the University of Alabama. And hopefully it's lasted now because of all of the good work that I'm doing here in Baltimore.
You're doing a fantastic job in Baltimore, and I really, hopefully I can see you in person so you can see how short I am. I bet you.
Okay. Well, you got to be honest. I know your father.
Yeah. So I'm actually 5'3". So yeah, I would love to meet you in person. I mean, you're just a really good person. You bring a really good energy. So yeah, I really do appreciate you talking to me today.
Well, I enjoyed talking to you, and I will be in Tuscaloosa sometime this fall, and maybe your dad can hook us up.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode with Ozzie Newsome. Make sure you subscribe and comment below. I'll see you next time.